Coming up, I'm going to be talking about sequels for Free Guy and Cruella, plus much more. But before we get into any of that, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On DisneyPlus.com. It's Monday, it's time to jump into some of today's big Disney Plus news, and we've got quite a bit of it today. So let's kick things off with some good news. Looks like we have got confirmation now that a second Cruella movie is on its way, according to a number of reports over the weekend. Emma Stone has made a deal to make the second one. This also is pretty exciting because that means that if there was going to be any potential lawsuit from her, because apparently Scarlett Johansson's whole kind of lawsuit thing she was being brought up as someone that was maybe kind of considering their options. Deal has been made, so I'm guessing that situation is now completely gone. Because she'll probably get a little bit more for Cruella too, and that way kind of balancing what she's going to get paid. So that's generally the way to look at it. She's kind of probably been paid a little bit more to kind of get rid of the problem, which I don't think is a bad idea. You know, ultimately we don't know yet if Cruella 2 will be coming to cinemas or if it'll be coming to Disney Plus, etc. However it's going to work in a couple of years, because it's still very much in the early stages. They definitely left it open for a sequel at the end of the first movie. Also, just to note, it is actually coming to all Disney Plus subscribers the end of next week. So if you have been waiting to watch Cruella, you'll be able to watch it next week. I really enjoyed it, but it's just great to see this second one now kind of underway, and that whole kind of thing has been put aside. Speaking of sequels, we also now know that Free Guy is going to get a sequel, because Ryan Reynolds tweeted over the weekend that Disney apparently has asked for a second movie. It opened in cinemas on Friday, pulled in about 28 million at the US box office, about 51 million at the global box office. Now, while that might seem a lot less than, say, for example, Black Widow or even Suicide Squad or Jungle Cruise, you've got to remember this is a non-franchise IP, so therefore it generally does come in a little bit lower. And this is actually one of the better movies from Ryan Reynolds for his opening weekend. If you discount Deadpool, most of his movies don't get near this number, so it's good for him. He's been really plugging this movie at all. I can't wait to see it. Probably going to go see it in a couple of weeks' time, depending on how it's going to work with this 45-day. I'm kind of waiting to see how all this works, but I do want to go see it. It's definitely a movie I want to see, and the idea that they've all kind of got enough faith in it. You know, they kept delaying it, they put it out there, but obviously there's a lot of talk this past week of how, you know, the release of Free Guy, you know, it's showing that there's only a certain amount of money there to be made each weekend with people going to cinemas, and it is kind of showing that. Unfortunately, with the 20th Century Studio movies, they couldn't go to Disney Plus Premier Access. They still have to go through their Pay 1 window on HBO and HBO Max. So there's a whole other issue going on that until that contract runs out. So it'll be a while until it's on Disney Plus in the US. Internationally, we could end up seeing it on Disney Plus as soon as, 6 weeks time, but it might be a little bit later depending on how they're going to do the release schedule for that one. We've also got some great news for Disney Plus fans in the United Kingdom. It has been confirmed that Why the Last Man will be coming to Disney Plus on September the 22nd, on the Wednesday. We're going to be getting 3 episodes to kick things off. So what that means, we'll actually be then just like 2 days behind the US release, because Hulu are going to be getting 2 episodes the week before it, and then they'll get a new episode on the Monday, and then we'll get the one. So it's pretty good. I mean, I think this is much improvement. It would have been nice to have it at the same time, but at least we are getting it. We've got the trailer and all the rest of it. I'm really looking forward to this series. It's based on a DC comic, which is kind of odd, but it's basically all about there being one last guy left on the planet after every other man on the planet has been wiped out. And yeah, this just looks a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And we're really kind of starting to get into that season now with September, with big shows dropping, especially in the UK. I mean, with that, American Horror Stories and Walking Dead, I mean, that's just 3 big titles alone, let alone all the Disney Plus original stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you're excited about Why the Last Man. In a couple of quick news bites, it looks like Peter Pan and Wendy, a new Disney Plus original movie, has finished its filming. Obviously, it's going to have to go through a lot of post-production, putting in loads of special effects, but the fact that they finished the filming, they've been doing it in Newfoundland and also in Vancouver, and yeah, it's all done as far as that side of things. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of special effects on this one, so that will be coming to Disney Plus in 2022. And finally, we've got an update on the new Percy Jackson series, which is currently very much in the early stages of development. The writing team has put an update over the weekend with Uncle Rick stating that things are going a little bit slower than they maybe would like, but it's going to be a big, expensive show, and they're going to make sure they do it correctly. They're having a big meeting with the chiefs over at Walt Disney Studios this week to kind of, I would imagine, hopefully either get the go-ahead or just kind of confirm what's going on. He said that this is the highest level meeting they've had, so that's a good thing. But he has gone on to say it does come into some sort of issues where people keep leaving the company, but also he's having to deal with the idea that sometimes Disney don't even know what the other side of Disney are doing. For example, they've actually got the distribution rights to the actual books, but the actual executives didn't realise this, which I'm not surprised. Disney is a massive company. I know I quite often have to look up to see who's got what and what's got what, because it is a really big company. But it's obviously just the size of Disney. It's just taking a little bit longer than I think they were hoping for. Personally, if they announce it during that Investors Day, it's probably pretty much, I still think, a lock, unless they really screw it up or this is just not good enough. But nevertheless, I'd love to know your thoughts on the upcoming Percy Jackson series. Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow and subscribe. Also, a huge thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and also on our YouTube channel memberships. And I shall see you guys in another video. Laters.